Nerd!
All right, guys. So I feel like we've talked about Star Trek far too much. Let's talk a little bit about Star Wars, especially Mark Hamill failing and blaming the Orange Man. Guys, Mark Hamill basically tried to boycott Twitter for a day. It was tweetless Tuesdays, and it was in response to the rebrand to X. He was like, Elon Musk is evil, so we need to all come together and not tweet for an entire day to show.
That's
Elon
right.
Musk
Mark
that
Hamill's
we are
still
unhappy.
alive, guys. I forgot about that.
Yeah. And then when people started memeing the crap out of him and making fun of him and tweeting even more than they usually do on that Tweetless Tuesday, Hamill came out and said like, it was because it was the biggest news day in the world because the Orange Man got indicted in what could be like the most important justice system confluence in history.
Orange Man bad. Okay.
And you know what's even funnier about this is that so when you look at your X feed or Twitter X feed or whatever you want to call it, old tweets of Hamill's were being promoted through the system. So like when I was going through my feed, I was seeing a lot of tweets from Hamill that were posted like days ago. And it was just kind of like undercut the whole like I'm not tweeting today thing. But I want to get everyone's take on this. Vader, what do you think Hamill was trying to accomplish here?
I think he was just trying to
great question.
Be a little social justice warrior like he is every day. It's like, oh, I hate Trump and I hate Elon Musk and and like similar to you, he doesn't like the X brand, which I personally kind of like. So he was just doing Mark Hamill things, and that's fine. And when Mark Hamill does Mark Hamill things, the rest of us do our thing, and we like to poke back at him,
We also like to go outside.
Yeah, we like to go outside once in a while. I don't really go outside. Right? It's 140,000 degrees outside right now.
Touch grass,
but
touch grass.
Good point.
Yeah. It was just a fun day for me because everybody that I know was tweeting 2-3 times as much as they normally do. And we were all tagging Mark in it. It's like, hey, suck it, Mark Hamill, hashtag, that kind of stuff. And it was a fun, interesting day. And yes, it did kind of happen to correlate with the government witch hunt that's going on, but I don't really want to get into that. But he's not completely wrong as far as the mainstream media is concerned when it comes to that kind of stuff. But it was an interesting day on No Tweet Tuesday because I tweeted way more than normal, and I think everybody else did too.
It was fun. Tweet
I would have hated to have been Mark Hamill, looked at my phone or whatever he uses the next day, and he probably had a million alerts that he had to just.
He wanted it though.
Yeah, he didn't actually get off Twitter. He would just.
It's all for attention.
Yeah,
but here,
it's like I wish he would do like Will Wheaton did. Will Wheaton said, "I'm out of here," and he left. And I don't think he's come back, and Twitter's been better for it. So go hang out with your friend Will, Mark. Go hang out with your friend Ron Perlman. I mean, wait, no, he came back after he said he wasn't going to because Threads sucks. And so it's just virtue signaling, man. That's all it is, really. It's just more Mark being Mark. So,
but I want to throw this to Odin real quick because basically the day after No Tweet Tuesday, Mark Hamill comes back on and starts blaming the failure of his boycott on the Orange Man. So, Odin, like, do you think like Hamill just could own up to the fact that it failed? He's got to like deflect it.
I mean, he could and he should have, but unfortunately, he has just gone off the rails. Right? He is complete social justice warrior now, and that's why the only reason why he did what he did was for attention and was to try to promote this ideological bent that he has now been a part of for so many years. He could have honestly used this moment, right? Because if he honestly has an issue with the rebranding, because it's like, is that the main reason we could say as to why he was doing this so-called, boycott was to, try to protest the changing of the name from Twitter to X and the movement of that? Because it's like, look, I don't like the change either. I think it's silly and it's not going to stick as far as just general pop culture. You can't change the language that we use on a daily basis overnight. And if it ever changes, it's going to take a very, very long time because, Twitter, tweets, etc., has been a part of the cultural lexicon for, forever now. But he could have taken the moment to actually prove himself to be a decent person. He showed that he cares more about trying to perpetuate his messaging versus actually perpetuating healthy living. He could have said, hey guys, I know a lot of people are upset with this these days, but you know what? There's more important things. So why don't we just take Tuesday off to go outside? Why don't we take Tuesday off to spend time with our family? Why don't we spend Tuesday, doing these things, trying to make it this more positive? But he didn't do that. And it's clear as to why. He's not trying to promote healthy living. He's not trying to promote a good, positive message. Instead, he's trying to perpetuate his political nonsense. And it's gotten so old, and it's just so sad that someone who has caused so much joy in people's lives is a lunatic.
I think it'd be really funny if all these celebrities went over to Truth Social and just started blasting it. But Nina, let's talk a little bit about Mr. Hamill. So basically, he's all but retired now, right? And a lot of people are pointing at this as a way for him to try to stay relevant. What's your take on that?
I mean, I agree with that. Now, I did my homework and I read the article that you sent about it, which I'm gonna say, I really, first of all, Mark Hamill, of course, I have a lot of love for Mark Hamill. He is Luke Skywalker. Well, was. I mean, he's Jake now, but he was Luke Skywalker.
Well, but do you love Luke Skywalker, the character, or
yes,
the actual actor?
No, Luke Skywalker, the character.
Okay.
But I also love somebody else that he portrayed. And that article, didn't give him that benefit. He was like, oh, you only had one role, Mark, that is recognizable. Look, he had two. Okay. He is the Joker. Everybody, we have to acknowledge that he is the Joker. And I think that it's just unfortunate that he chose to channel the Joker more than Luke Skywalker, going forward with his life. He just kind of leaned in towards the Joker more and just kind of went crazy and let TDS destroy him completely. And now he's just a freaking loon on Twitter. But it's weird though, because I kind of also agree with Mark, because I think X is a freaking terrible name. So I'm like, I wouldn't go as far as saying boycott the damn thing, but it was just like, dude, what the hell? X is terrible.
It looks like a porn site.
Yeah, it just sucks. So it's not like he doesn't have a point. Like X is stupid, but it's funny because it's just sad to see that all these different actors, including Mark, have completely been destroyed by TDS. Now, I think there is an interesting correlation though, because now we've talked about writer strikes and actor strikes, and all of these are obviously affecting Mark Hamill because he does still do like side projects once in a while. He just came out with a movie that's apparently supposed to be really good. Actually, I haven't seen it, but I want to.
The Machine.
Yeah, The Machine. But my point is that Twitter right now is doing something though. It is paying its people that have huge amounts of engagement. So what you just said, Matt, about him looking at his Twitter and his entire feed is filled with tags of him, guess what? You're paying the guy. Yep. Like now he's going to get a big fat check from Twitter because that is engagement. On Twitter now, engagement equals money. So if he's triggering people for them to respond to him, he is making bank. You can... I promise you that, unless he doesn't have a blue check mark.
Yeah. I was gonna say, Nina, I don't think he pays for Twitter, so therefore he's
okay. So that's out. But if he's paying for it though, no, which he does. He has a blue check mark. That is bank. He's making money off every tweet. Everything that you interact with now, he's making money off.
So he's got a blue check mark because of his celebrity status, which I think was gifted to him by Elon. Because he did that with a lot of people like Stephen King and stuff like that, just to troll them. He's not paying for X or Twitter or whatever you want to call it.
So you don't think Elon's going to give him a check?
I doubt seriously that he's part of the revenue share program. I think that's more for kind of indie creators. But any big celebrities aren't going to be eligible for that, in my opinion.
I don't know about that,
I could
dude.
Be wrong.
Because I mean, as if Elon takes him out like manually. Then yes, but if you have a blue check mark, then you're in that entire, you're in the program of, you know what I'm saying? Like then you're already included. It doesn't matter if it's a legacy blue check mark or not, I would assume, unless they manually take him out of that program. But I don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe he's not making money.
So Brian, I want to ask you, so like we've had a lot of celebrities come out recently against Twitter and saying like they're going to leave and all this stuff, and they end up coming back. They can't get rid of the playground. Like they keep threatening to leave and take their toys elsewhere, but they don't.
Right.
And Mark Hamill, unfortunately, it's one of those situations where it's like never meet your heroes type thing, because like he's just such a crazy person. When you just like take him at his like tweets, and you could even argue that the Star Trek cast is very similar in that respect. So what's your take on basically him trying to boycott Twitter and then failing and then blaming it on his most hated political figure?
I think it's hilarious. Mark Hamill, he's just not that relevant anymore. I know he's our beloved Luke Skywalker and other things like Nina mentioned, but you know what they say, like never meet the people you actually like, your heroes, never meet the celebrities or the actors that you appreciate, because they're all sort of nuts. Social media has given us like this look into people's minds, and you realize that a lot of these people that you like because they played a character you like are just not that bright. Like they have bad ideas, and they're because their platform, they're able to like to spit them out every 5 minutes on the minute. All these horrible ideas about politics, and their personal beliefs are just sort of out there and weird, and they're in this echo chamber where they can't get past themselves and what their little portion of Twitter looks like. I think it's absolutely hilarious that he attempted once again to do something that he thought his fans cared about, and his fans just told him to shut up. Like Mark, we only like you because the characters you play. Most of us aren't buying into your garbage politics. Most of us aren't on board with the weird Trump derangement syndrome you have. It's weird. It's weird that like a lot of these celebrities are still talking about Trump. The guy is not the president of the United States anymore. It's been a while, and they're still like losing their minds over Trump. What's that? There's this other guy. He's a white guy. He talks like he's from New York or something. I keep forgetting his name, but he went on like a 10-minute rant on Instagram about Trump, and he's like, "Oh yeah, gonna get 3 more indictments." And he's like, just his fans are not there to hear him scream and yell about Trump indictments. It's just, they're so tone deaf with what they think people want, or they don't care. I don't know what it is, but it just makes them look really bad, and it makes me consider like the next project I see him in. I'm like, yeah, I don't know, that guy's sort of nuts. I'm not gonna put my time and effort into that anymore. I used to like Ron Perlman a lot, that weird albino gorilla, and then he started talking, and I realized that he is just so dumb. And he has bad ideas, and he acts like this big tough guy. Bro, you're like 67 or something. Stop acting like you're a tough guy. Okay, it's bad. It's a bad look. Like everything they do is just sort of cringe and bad look. And so him failing once again, I think it's hilarious. Give me more of that, because this is my new popcorn. I'm getting my popcorn ready, and I'm gonna watch some celebrities complain about Trump and try boycotting or something, and never get past the front page. It's great. Love it.
Hey guys, if you like this podcast, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and comment below on your favorite video as well. That goes a long way with helping us boost our channel and get out there in front of more people. And it lets YouTube know that we're doing something right. And if you want to catch us live, we go live 2 times a week, once on Saturdays at 10 a.m. Pacific time and on Tuesdays at 1:30 p.m. Pacific time. So join us there in the chat. We will see you on the live stream. Stay salty.